what that means is to make sure that immigrant voices are at the table when policies are enacted, whether that means policies, bills on the legislative level and the local level, just anything that's going to impact those communities. We want to make sure to empower leaders from those communities to be at the table and work with others who have that same vision and mission. It's really important right now as we live in an area where immigrant communities are coming under attack, that we make sure that that leadership and that pipeline of power is built so that those whose voices have been stifled have the opportunity to have their opinions and their what they see as best for their own community elevated so that they are able to have a seat at that table. Some of the internal and external obstacles internally, I think that it's very similar to what other nonprofit organizations are facing, which is always a challenge with funding. A lot of nonprofit organizations rely on grants and rely on other monies that are coming in from different foundations. And sometimes that can actually sort of push and pull people in different directions and priorities. So really being able to focus on what's true to our mission, avoiding mission creep, figuring out ways to look at things that impact immigrant communities, for instance, climate change. Climate change has a disproportionate impact on communities of color, particularly immigrant communities, because of where a lot of times dumping and other, the way that the areas in which these communities tend to live, which are generally low income. So they get a lot less of the protections that other communities have. It may not necessarily be something that you would think of right away as an immigrant issue, but it absolutely is. Externally, there's a number of obstacles, mostly related to the misinformation around immigrant communities. A lot of times you will hear the narrative that we want to make sure to stand true to American values and being welcoming of immigrants and providing opportunity. But I think we want to build on that. And we face the challenge of people not recognizing really the critical contributions of the immigrant communities. So not just saying that we want to be true to what we've always been in extending those opportunities, but recognizing that immigrants have really taken those opportunities and built the foundation of this country and continue to do so. And when you hear a lot of misinformation, for instance, about, maybe narratives about immigrants that are taking benefits or tax monies, when in reality, immigrants, particularly undocumented immigrants, give so much more and contribute so much more to tax revenue than they ever see in return. So those are the types of sort of external obstacles that we face.